Counterpunch Media Live in 3, 2, 1.
Live from the Counterpunch Studios in Columbus, Ohio, you're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy on IPMNation.com. If you're not going to Mortal Up, why not just stay in bed?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is not a drill.
All-Natural Being. Warning, All-Natural Being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Welcome, and thank you for stopping by stopping by and hanging out, I should say, because I appreciate you hanging out. The 454th episode of the number one. If you're still here, you're still vertical, we believe you have a legend to let loose. And to that end, we're simply serving up some of the best thoughts in the history of thinking. So what do you say? Here's your opportunity to mortal up, to crush your cant and pound your critics on the way down, on the way up for you. What do you say? Let's go kick in some doors. Got a lot of things going on this morning. Thank you again for joining us. And so many things in the news that are kind of like, do you ever feel like that where you're moving through the day? It's kind of like real life horoscopes. You know what I mean? Where you go, oh, well, here's my horoscope for today. It's supposed to be this, it's supposed to be that. But it's even a step above, your horoscope, if you're into that thing, of those things. It's like something happens in the universe and you go, oh, this is a sign. Right? You're always asking for, like a cognitive cairn, right? Where you stack up those rocks and you go and you're in the wilderness, you go, oh, I turn left here, turn right, go down this path, climb up over this little hill, right? So you're looking for a cognitive cairn. You're looking for a sign. You want a signal, right, from somewhere about what you're to do. Well, I saw this before we get to lowlifes making headlines, before we get to, some news you can definitely use, and I wanted to write them down on the 3x card in case I have an attack of amnesia between now and the time we do this. But these are things that I learned from being out and about, and we'll talk about it here in a little bit, but from being out and about during our Mortal Up campaign. I'll tell you, I got another 4 miles under my belt yesterday. I'll tell you what that is all about. But before we get to that, and then this little 3x5 card, unless, of course, you're listening, thank you if you're listening on iHeart or iTunes or Spotify. You're not able to see this, but just imagine you could see me holding a 3x5 card with all kinds of, I don't know, stupid stuff I'm supposed to say when we get to that segment. But here's one of those things where you hear a story in the news and you go, man, that story is just for me. Well, it appears that scientists now, and maybe the next step will be monkey brains, I don't know, but for some reason they decided to try this with pig brains. And a full 5 minutes after their death, what are you thinking? They made bacon, right? No. Sausage? No. I would have thought the same. Pork chops? Nope. Would have thought the same thing. Here's what they did. 5 minutes after these pigs' death, they were able to revive their brains. Their brains were still working. Brains were still working. They were able to jumpstart their brains. So as most everyone would, it caused me to rethink my do not resuscitate thing that I have going in. Because, I have to sign power of attorney over when I get ready to go into the Columbus Cranium Shack and Needle Emporium. So before I get ready to go in for my neuronal pedicures, I have to sign a power of attorney. So Ashley says, okay, well, if this goes or that goes, uh, I'm in charge, or she's in charge, right? Because I'm there. I'm not really able to vote. I'm out, right? And so the do not resuscitate says, in fact, just that. But now I'm thinking, wait a minute, maybe the scientist reviving these pig brains, maybe I should spend some portion of today revising my do not resuscitate. Maybe I should say, oh, well, if a pig brain lasts for 5 minutes, maybe mine lasts for 10. And I go, okay, well, with the do not resuscitate, should I add a clock to it? Should I go, well, somebody start a stopwatch from the moment, right? Give me 10 minutes and try to kickstart me one more time, right? Like an automatic that won't start. Just try to push me down the hallway one more time and kickstart the gurney that I'm on and see if that's enough to bring me back. Because if they can do it to pig brains, now granted, those of you that have listened for a while go, well, Brian, you barely have a brain that rises up to the level of a pig brain. That would be true. However, I'm just saying, maybe I should have them give me a standing 10-minute count. At least the length of a halftime of a Super Bowl, right? Let me just wait a little bit before you ultimately pull the plug on me. Because, right, maybe there's something to this. I think there's something to it. I've had a near next life experience, right? And I think that's why, as I get ready, this is one of our 3 last shows. So today is Thursday, Friday. Look, and Saturday comes after Friday. There's nothing wrong with my memory. So we'll have a live show Thursday. We'll have a live show Friday. And I'm looking forward to Nurse Molly. I'm hoping we'll come on tomorrow and talk about, she's going to be doing the updates next week and possibly even the following week. We're going to do pre-recorded shows, but what will come in every day is an update from Nurse Molly and how I'm doing and what's going on at the Columbus Cranium Shack and Drug Hut. Right? She'll have updates into all that, and we'll be doing that. But as far as live shows go, there are 3 left. Today's, and then tomorrow, which is Friday, and then Monday we will have a live show, and that's the show that'll happen right before. So I'll have an update for you to let you know if I've in fact had any success in revising my do not resuscitate to tack on another 10 minutes, something like that, just to make certain that, not unlike the pig brains, make sure that I've definitely gone on, right, to the next gig. Right, that if you have a near next life experience, then you've seen what the next gig is, and I go, yeah, you know what? I'm not all that troubled by it. I got to be honest with you. How about you? Ever had a near next life experience? Want to talk? Tell me. Let me know if you want to talk about it, because for me, it wasn't all that such a bad thing, really. Give us a call, 833-646-3877. Of course, I'm talking about 833-646-MIND-UPS. I want to jump over in the thread real quick, and then, let me do this because I promised I would each time. Don't forget the QR code if you're saying, oh, Brian, you gripping stuff this morning, right? Well, thank you, first off. I don't want to miss a minute of this. What is wrong with us? I don't want to miss a minute of this. So just hit the QR code on your phone and you'll be able to pick up running right away, and we can go from there. So QR code's up on the screen right now if you're watching. And if you're already on iHeart or iTunes or IPM Nation or iHeartRadio, or was it did I say iTunes, iHeart, Spotify, or IPM Nation, then you know you're hearing it already. Let me jump in this morning. Say hello to Janice. Janice, good morning. Jennifer, good morning. Brett, good morning. Ina, good morning. Nice to see you as well. Thank you so very much for joining us here at All Natural Being. Jennifer says, good morning to everyone. And Brett, good day to you as well. So here's what we're talking about this morning. I've been doing this thing where everyone around me says, okay, so we got to get rid of the tumor 20. Right? Which, if you've heard of the freshman 20, that's when you, allegedly when you go to college and you learn that you can drink beer and eat French fries with blue cheese out of fish bowls, right? So you pack on a few extra. So they call it the freshman 20. Well, I have the tumor 20. Some say 25. Who's arguing? Some say 25. So I'm trying to do what I can to lose, the tumor 25. And then most certainly after the fact, hello, Henry. I hope all's well, brother. Hope the writing is going great. Got to let us know how it's going. So in an attempt to lose the tumor 20, 25, tumor 20, I have crafted, well, I'm of two minds of this. Let's just say I'm a Gemini, so I get away with that. But two minds of this. I'm doing a mobile Mortal Up campaign because the doctors say, well, we want you out walking. We want you moving around. We want you, getting some exercise, after we release you from the spa. So I'm like, oh, that would be great. So as you know, if you've been listening to the show, I have Mortal Up. I have a sign on a stick, and I carry it around the streets of this where I am. Hello, brother, to you as well. I carry my stick around. It's like a marketing campaign, right? To show people, hey, mortalup.com, which transfers over to brianbrawdy.com, which transfers, all of them, allnaturalbeing.com, bringyourOwnBowl.com, that kind of thing, so that you can continue to listen to the show. So I thought, well, this would be a great way to do a little bit of marketing, right? Carrying my sign. And I'll tell you, after the couple of windy days that I've had, I'll end up with forearms like Tiger Woods because the wind just grabs these signs. And it makes me think, man, should I have done something differently? Should I have manufactured these signs in a different way? But, maybe like making perforated in certain areas, like the waffle pattern on a golf ball, letting it cut through the air because, man, the air whips through these things like you wouldn't believe. So I may try that. But in any event, right, so I put on my heart rate monitor, I strap on my watch, and I head out on the streets, and I get my mileage in while I'm doing some marketing. So these things are the things that I've learned in my first 2 days. Let me say hi to Kelly. Kelly, nice catching up yesterday. Thank you so very much for joining us this morning. And also Kim Lewis Henson. Kim, thank you for hanging out with us here at All Natural Being. All right, so here's the 3 things I've learned when I'm doing my marketing slash what would you call aerobics program, I guess, to recover. My marketing slash recovery program. And I'm walking around with my sign. Here's what I've learned. Number 1, or these are the 3 maybe urban myths, right, that you could only get from being out on the road, ready to go, right? And you're where the rubber meets, literally where the rubber meets the road. So you're getting this firsthand. This is firsthand knowledge, not fake news, firsthand knowledge. Number 1, everyone texts and drives. Don't care who you are. Don't care what's going on. Well, Kelly, good morning to you as well. Don't care who you are. Everyone says, oh, I never text and drive. Okay, maybe not everyone, but a majority of the population is somehow distracted when they're driving. Now, maybe they're not texting. Maybe they're plugging us up on Spotify. Maybe they're looking at their Garmin for a road map. Maybe I don't know what they're doing, right? But everyone is playing on their phone. It's unbelievable. It's just, so that's urban myth number 1, that distracted driving isn't a real thing. People eating sandwiches, people putting mascara on, people checking their look in the rear view mirror. It's just right. It distracted driving. I'm almost taking my life into my own hands walking around the streets with this sign. I can tell you that way. Oh, which leads to number 2. Here's another urban myth. I know you've probably said this before. Pedestrians have the right of way. Boy, how wrong is that? The number of people that'll blow through stop signs, blow through crosswalks, literally make right-hand turns, right? Getting out of the parking right in front of me. Like that nanosecond, that quarter of a nanosecond. I don't know what a quarter of a nanosecond is, but you get where I'm going with this. That quarter of a nanosecond you saved by almost throwing me on the trunk of your car, right? So I just realized pedestrians don't have the right of way, or people just simply don't know how to drive, right? They're too focused on everything else going on, distracted by their phone or whatever. So urban myth number 2 that I've learned from the Mortal Up mobile marketing campaign is if you think you have the right of way, boy, you are dead wrong. Knock on wood. I gotta find some wood here. Oh, or a tom-tom. Okay. Oh, and the number 1 thing I've learned from hitting the streets, getting my mileage in every morning while I'm doing our little our mobile campaign, the number 1 thing I've learned is that people really don't clean up after their dogs. They really don't. I literally yesterday had someone come up to me, won't say who, I don't even know who, come up to me and apologize while I'm walking. Motion for me to take out my headphones and go, oh, I forgot my baggie. I forgot my dog scat contraption. Oh, I normally don't do this, but and started like searching the pockets and go, oh, I don't know what happened to it. So that's urban myth number 3. A good number of folks don't clean up after their dogs, especially, now here's a little caveat, especially if it's on like a public grassland right? Where they're like, let the city, let the town, let whoever clean it up. They don't. They never pick up after their dogs. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's see. We have a call. Good morning. Welcome to All Natural Being. Who's this?
This is Janice. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Just getting over our top three, as you may very well know. Everyone texts and drives. Pedestrians have the right of way. You're dead wrong if you believe that. I don't care what state you live in. And people really don't clean up after their dogs. That's another urban myth. They just don't. They just don't.
Right. You're absolutely right.
There's the three.
And the fourth one, B, I would say, is littering. I mean, you can see that when you're driving in a car. You don't need to be walking with a sign, but.
Well, thank you for that ringing endorsement, Jan. I appreciate it.
But
I appreciate that endorsement.
And I just want to say, yeah, absolutely.
You haven't been talking to Dana, have you? You haven't been talking to Dana, have you? Okay.
No,
okay,
but I got to say something about that as well. But the do not resuscitate, honey, absolutely tack on another 10 minutes.
10 minutes,
and
right?
God love you.
Yeah.
I would, and I, you know, I love your wife. I love her to death.
Right.
You know that.
She's a good person.
But
she's had it up to here with me. She's had it up to here with me.
I would never give my spouse the opportunity to go do not resuscitate because they'd be like, "Did we have the surgery 3 weeks ago?" So no. And I love that. You know that.
Right.
But
I don't want to say she's got her hand on the plug, but she's developed this thing where she practices yanking the cable, yanking the cord, because she goes, "Oh, it was accidentally wrapped around my ankle. I went to get a cup of coffee, and I came back, and he had flatlined." And then people go, "You don't even like coffee." "Oh, I went to get a Monster." Well, she can't drink Monster now since you and Dana Lee, right? Right. You and Dana have thrown us under the bus for Monster. She goes, "I must have tripped over it. Maybe the maid came in and mopped up, and that's what pulled the trigger or the cord."
Right.
Okay.
So no, I am all for you checking on.
10 minutes. That's all I'm asking.
At least 10 minutes.
Right. If I don't get double the time you give a pig.
Yeah.
Right? That's all I'm saying.
And
Maybe
I read that article yesterday.
Isn't that
I
something?
found that very fascinating. And I did think of you.
Really?
And the
so
thing
I'm just not right.
okay.
Really? You did?
Yeah, I read it on
thank
my
you.
news app yesterday.
There's something to it here. All right. Groovy. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And I did want to say, if you're going to do that radio spot with Dana, if you guys could schedule it like for when we do the family reunion, I say you and I leave the compound and go to Rochester and hit her up.
I think that's a great idea. Well, you know, it's interesting, Janice, that you bring that up because I'm on the verge, and I don't know. Today will be the final day. But, you know, 104.9 The River refused to help me in any way, the radio station here, 104.9 The River. And I may be adding another radio station today who now, after my fourth attempt across social media platforms and all types of intermediaries, the second radio station here in Columbus that has just said, "No, we don't even want you emptying trash cans. We can shovel our own sidewalks, and we're not interested in you raking leaves." They will not even let me do manual labor. And the barter is, I just want to watch them. I stand in the back, quiet as a mouse, watch them work the boards. Second radio station that has not gotten back to me. So you know how my mind works. If I recover, I recover from my stay at the Columbus Cranium Shack and Needle Emporium, I'm going to go after those radio stations, not in any other way other than the fact that I'm going to go, okay, great, I'll learn how to do morning radio, and we will build this however we have to so that this little shindig becomes the #1 morning show in Columbus. And I'll look back and go, well, you poked me with a stick. So that's what I'm thinking about this morning. Yeah.
And you'll do it, hon, because everything you've always set your sight on doing, you have accomplished. So,
thank you. So, in other words, it's looking good for me rewriting the Do Not Resuscitate agreement. That's good news.
Yeah, I think you should. And I wish I had known about that earlier because I would have been blowing up your phone like no tomorrow. But, you know.
No pun intended.
Now I do know. What's that, hon?
Like no tomorrow. No pun intended. Yeah, well, if there's no tomorrow, give another 10 minutes.
How quick you are? Yeah, I don't think you need brain surgery. I didn't even catch that.
I need something, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
But I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss waking up in the morning with my mouth full of spinal fluid. You know, nothing says morning breath like a mouth full of spinal fluid. I mean, it sucks so bad. Let me just interrupt and say this. It for someone who they damaged all the nerve to my tongue, I can't taste normal food. But the one or two nerves that they thought to leave in my tongue are triggered by the taste of spinal fluid. Right? Like if people go, oh, well, you can't taste anything? Yeah, except spinal fluid. You wake up in the morning with a mouthful of that and you're like, oh my good Lord, did I eat roadkill overnight? It's just, and then you're brushing your teeth, and then brushing the teeth doesn't seem to touch it. Right? So I know you and Dana are against Monster, but like I'm to the point now where I'm doing shots of Seabreeze. I'm doing shots of isopropyl rubbing alcohol just to kill whatever that morning breath is. Yeah. So there you go.
You are spitting that out though, right, hon? After you.
Oh, that could lead to the upset stomachs. So I'm supposed to spit that out, am I? All right. Okay. Well, now I know.
I mean, but
Thank you.
I don't know. How bad can it be? I mean, if you got that or you got spinal fluid. I don't know.
I don't know.
Worse.
It's which could be. You never can tell. All right. Well, Henry says, come down here to Cuenca and we will create a #1 radio station internationally. I like that idea. Now, but here's the thing, and I'm going to hold Henry to it because, he's like he has property on the beach. He has property up in the mountains. So I don't know if I want to do this international. He says, thumbs down to Monster. My good God, I can't catch a break. He has property up in the mountains. He's got property on the beach. So do I want to sit on the beach and recover? Do I want to recover under the Milky Way? You know what I mean?
Well,
I can't decide.
You know me. I'm all for the beach. That's my life.
That's true. That is you. Well, you have a beach body. I look like a beached manatee. Right, with this tumor 20.
And here's the other thing, hon.
Okay.
I would forget the exercising and the blah, blah. Eat whatever you want the next couple of days.
I know, right?
Do whatever you want.
All right.
I mean, I would lay off the Monster only because of exactly what Dana said.
And Dana could be listening.
I think I told you that years ago.
Right, I'm sure you did.
Chicago,
I'm sure you did.
But, yeah.
Did they even have Monster when we lived in Chicago?
Yes, you made me take you to the gas station. I think it was a Circle K, so you could sneak your Monster when Ashley wasn't there.
See, I've since given my word and said no more Monster, no more. All these cans you see down here are all old, right? The maid hasn't been here in 6 months. Oh, I love that. Henry says get both split the town. Pardon me?
Yeah. I say we hit the beach, and just picture yourself walking on the beach with your Mortal Up sign.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'll get me arrested in another country. That'll get me arrested. But at least it's not getting me arrested here, at least not thanks to the good folks in New Albany, Ohio. All right, Janice, well, thank you so much. I super appreciate it. Hope to catch up with you. But thank you for being a part of the And Then There Were Three episode of All Natural Being. So thank you very much for calling in. I super appreciate it.
All right, honey, I love you very much.
I love you too.
I'll give you a shout out on Easter.
That sounds, I look forward to it. Sounds good. All right. Thank you, sweetie.
All right.
I love you. Bye. All right, Janice, as most of you may know, my sister. Henry, that's very nice of you. Henry says, got both, split the talent. There's not much of a split. It would be like 90. If it comes to talent, it's like 90%, 2% Henry, 8% Brian. So it's a sliding scale when it comes to talent, right? So it wouldn't be 50-50. It's not an equal split is all I'm saying. It's like a sliding scale. All right. So this morning I wanted to, this is the question, right? When it comes in, we didn't get a chance to get to lowlifes making headlines again. That's my fault. John Burgess, good morning. Thank you for listening or watching, however you come to be here on All Natural Being. Hope all's well with you and your family. Henry Knoll says, carrying your sign around here might get you elected president. Well, now there's a goal. There's another reason to get back from the Columbus Cranium Shack and Drug Hut. I could be elected president. Now I know what you're saying. Okay, Brian, now that you're running for president, you're like Shane running for president here, and Shane Phelps running for president in 2020. Now that you're running for president, one, will you eat lobster in bed if you win, right? If you run for president, will you eat lobster in bed? And two, would you have kicked Julian Assange out, right? See, these are like pressing questions. So maybe I should prepare a little something like that if I'm ever going to run for president. All right, so here's something. Speaking of running for president, The lowlifes making headlines this morning. A couple guys, no need to mention their names. A couple guys, mid 20-year-old guys, decide to beat someone up, decide to attack someone, assault someone, punch them in the face, knock them to the ground, continue to kick them. All, you ready? You ready for his offense? All because he wore a red baseball cap with MAGA, Make America Great Again. Now, regardless of what you think of the slogan, Make America Great Again, whether you're a fan of that slogan or you hate that slogan, that's not the debate. My question to you is, should your choice of clothing, because believe me, I've gone out sometimes, ask Ashley, I've gone out sometimes in clothing combinations, someone should assault me, really. When you look and go, Bri, was there even a mirror were the lights, was the sun up this morning before you got dressed? Really? That's what you chose to wear out, right? So I'm a walking, right? If anyone's going to assault anyone for something that they're wearing, which they should pick on me, right? Just for giving some of my attire. But have we really gotten to the point where wearing a hat allows another human being to come up, punch you in the face, and knock you to the ground? So here's my question. Everyone's bantering around, oh, it's a hate crime. Oh, it's a hate crime. Yeah, you got to charge them with a hate crime. What would it take for, if someone punches you because you're wearing a hat, right? Maybe it's Make America Great. Maybe you're a Blue Jackets fan, and you're wearing a Blue Jackets hat. I don't know, but maybe someone doesn't like it, and someone gets to walk up to you and punch you and knock you to the ground and kick you and everything else. Maybe that should be a hate crime. Everyone's so sensitive, and they go, oh yeah, simply wearing a hat is an invitation for total strangers to walk up and slam you into the ground? Just doesn't matter. What is the world coming to when you can't even wear what you want to without the fear of being assaulted? So I should mention quickly that today, if you're listening to this show on demand version, today is the release here in the States, at least, the release of the Mueller, however it's pronounced, the big report, trust me, it'll be heavily redacted report. That'll hit the airwaves today, which is why I say this is the greatest time in the history of the world to be alive. But for our lowlifes making headlines this morning, anyone that thinks it's a good idea to punch another human being because of their chapeau, right? If you speak French, coiffe. Who knows what language? Henry probably knows. I don't. Coiffe, right? Your hat. Anyone that thinks it's a good idea to punch another human being because of their hat, it's time for you to take a time out, right? So hopefully these two young up-and-coming Golden Gloves boxers will spend some time in the Hooskow. That's all we're thinking. All right, so I wanted to thank everyone. We're over 425 shares on our little GoFundMe campaign that we started, the Brian Brain Trust. I want to thank everyone for that. We're approaching $6,000, believe it or not, $6,000 in the opening month. Thank you all so very, very much for all of your involvement and all the things that you've done to make that happen. And thanks to David Ray Bowman for the very special message. I super appreciate it. Okay, don't forget, Matt Connerton from IPM Nation is teaching me, working with me on how to fulfill this guarantee. It's called the Up in 30 Guarantee, so that you'll hear today's show top of the hour. You'll be able to get the replay right away, so that's a little more timely than having to wait and go, oh, how long is it going to be until All Natural Being comes up? Then we'll go ahead and we'll put it up at the top of the hour. That is our Up in 30 guarantee. As always, I want you to get out there, have a fantastic day, bring your own bold for certain. And we'll see you back. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, Friday morning, will be one of our last two live episodes, and then we'll be doing some pre-recorded things with reports from Nurse Molly throughout the upcoming weeks until they figure out exactly what's going on with me. So thank you all so very much. We look forward to seeing you back here bright and early tomorrow morning. Thanks for all your support, and thanks for listening across all of our different platforms and making us, again, the #1 rated show here on IPMNation.com. Thank you so very much. We are out of here.
You've been listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy.
Join us live every Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m. Eastern.
Also, check us out around the clock at allnaturalbeing.com.
Until then, always remember to bring your own bold.
Hey, I just figured out you can respond back here with a GIF. They make them for you right away. Look at that. Nothing wrong. Oh, please. I need my spinal fluid back. Have a great day.
This is Matt Connerton from Matt Connerton Unleashed, and you're listening to IPMNation.com, The Bri.